All right, welcome to the space. We've got Taylor in the building. We've got Karen and Fidela. We're going to remove some of these note takers so they can be a little bit annoying. Not trying to be rude to the note takers, but we don't want them talking to us as we get our knowledge on and get to learning about how to make um, $30,000 in the next 90 days without burning out. So do me a favor. If you can hear me, just put the word money in the chat. If you can hear me, put the word money in the chat so that I know you can hear me loud and clear. And then we will get started with our training for today. All right, I see some money coming through, which always feels good. So welcome to today's training and webinar on how to make $30,000 in the next 90 days without burning out. I'm Evolve Benton, the Speaking for Profit strategist and coach, and I'm thankful that you are spending your most valuable resource with me today, which is your time. Do me a favor. We never know who's in the space to learn from or who we might be down the street from. So drop your locations in the space. Where are you located right now? Or where are you located in general? Maybe you don't want to share your vacation if you're on vacation, but where are you located? All right, we got South Africa in the building. I'm in Atlanta. All right, Nigeria visiting family. Great. Chicago and Baton Rouge. All right, Baton Rouge. I hope you're all right. I know that there's some weather going on right now in New Orleans. I actually did my undergrad in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I was there during Hurricane Katrina. So sending you all lots of love in Louisiana and hoping that the storm is not too hectic as you navigate through it. I hope you got some good food, which I know folks in Louisiana always do as they prepare for the storm. So I hope you're cooking up something good and staying safe as possible. So let's talk a little bit about why you should listen to me and what we're going to get into today. Again, I'm Evolve Benton. I have a master's of clinical psychology and also a master's of creative writing. I got 3 degrees, y'all, a little bit overeducated, but love that experience. Did my undergrad at Dillard University, HBCU in New Orleans, Louisiana, and did my graduate school in Los Angeles at Antioch University. And I am the founder and creator of the amazing Legion app, which I'll show you a little bit today, which has helped my clients make over $3 million in the last few years through speaking and consulting. I'm the head coach at Speaking for Profit University, and Yahoo Finance, shouts out to them, listed me as the top 10 public speaking coaches in 2020. And I've helped my clients make over $3 million in the last few years, since 2020, really, when we really started the business. And this is what we know of, right? These are the wins that we know about. There's always wins that we don't know about. Someone reached out to me recently on YouTube because they had did one of the trainings that I had had for free, and they got a $10,000 contract. So there's always wins out there that we don't know about, but for now we can say that we've helped our clients make 7 figures. And I say we because we have an amazing team. I actually have one of my team members, Michaela, here on the chat to be able to support us for today, just in case we have some stragglers that come in late, or if any of you all get disconnected, to let you back in. So today's training, we're going to focus on how to utilize LinkedIn to create more ease in our business and create more abundance. And with this strategy, I have supported one of my clients, Christine Coleman. She's actually a psychologist outside of the Bay Area, moved from making $500 per speaking engagement to making about $100,000 in a year with the strategies that I'm going to teach you today. And I always love her story because as a Latinx woman who was helping the world, she wasn't able to help herself or figure out how to monetize it as a mother, as a business owner in the way that she wanted to. And we had some great success working together. I also was able to work with my client Kyle to launch his speaking business and start a viral podcast. He actually is a strength-based coach and uses a lot of frameworks around how to support folks in the workplace with their strengths. I don't know if you all know that I'm a woo, if you've ever taken one of those employee engagement tests. So he utilized that practice to be able to launch his podcast and has been really successful. This framework also helped my client Zombie Hemingway make $500,000 in the last 2 years and be able to travel the world while doing it. Zami was a social worker before becoming an amazing speaker and consultant, and really stuck at his day job, literally behind a desk, and has been able to create so much abundance in his amazing life. Also, my client Christopher, who is a civil engineer and does some amazing work with his family. Also, a member of Phi Beta Sigma, and you can see with the blue on, was able to book over 12 contracts in 2023 from this strategy that I will teach you today. And then we also have Geronda Spiller, who is one of my amazing clients I'm still working with to this day, who made $15,000 in a month, which was one of her big wins because she wanted to be able to put a down payment on her home, which she did end up purchasing from this strategy that we'll talk about today. So I share all those wins with you all because I want you all to know that I do know how to win. I know what it takes. And I promise to do whatever it takes to help you win today through today's training. And I just wanted to share with you some of the client success because I can rave about myself, but really what I'm passionate about is helping others be successful. And I hope that I'm able to give you some strategies today to be able to do that. So we'll get into the conversation. We will have some time for some questions afterwards. And then we'll go on with our evenings. I hope you all have some amazing dinners planned for yourself. So by the end of our training today, you're going to have the access to unlimited qualified speaking and consulting clients to show up to your inbox every day. If you want that, if you want to be able to have unlimited access to leads and opportunities, go on and put the word money in the chat. You're going to hear that a lot because I believe that we call in abundance as much as we work for it. And we're really talking about easeful abundance, and we have to make sure that we're literally calling in. And then you're going to also have a proven strategy that is simple and easy that you or your team, because I know that some of you who are here today or who might be watching this recording have a VA or operations person who will be supporting you, can use this to get new clients on a consistent basis. If you want new clients, just go on and put the word love in the chat because I think that anyone who's in an active service has to have a foundation of love to really be able to help their clients. So go on and put the word love in the chat. So that's what we're going to hope for by the end of today and hope that we can give you enough information so that you can win. So before we get into the strategy, I want to tell you a little bit about how I got here, right? How did I get to this strategy and learn about it? In 2015, in 2015, I moved to the Bay Area with my amazing partner here. This is actually one of our engagement photos. And I moved there because of love. People often ask me why. I was a Los Angeles native, y'all, living in LA, and actually had a rent-controlled apartment, which was pretty amazing, and didn't have to pay a lot of rent. And then my amazing partner got an opportunity at UC Berkeley to work there. And she was like, hey, Evolve, you should come with me. And I don't believe in long distance. I believe in being in the same house and support one another. So I said, okay, I'll apply to some jobs. And if I get some jobs, I'll come, right? If I get a job, I'll come. Apply for 3 jobs. I actually got 3 offers. And one of them was at the University of California, San Francisco, which is one of the top medical schools in the country. And I got that job, and it was to be their multicultural assistant director. So I was like, okay, this is a good job. I can get in there and get my feet wet. But when I got there and I got my first paycheck, we paid rent. And believe it or not, I couldn't even buy us both a breakfast sandwich. We had to split that thing in half because I did not have enough money, right? Like we had to like figure it out. So I was like, this is not good because I don't like feeling like I don't have enough money to eat. So I got to find a side gig. So I thought about a lot of things that I could do. I thought about DoorDash. I did some Uber and lifting, right? I've always been a hustler coming from Los Angeles. So finding odd work has never been a thing that I didn't think about, but I didn't think about speaking, even though it was a skill set. And then a Black woman, an amazing Black woman, reached out to me and she said, Evolve, I want you to speak on a panel and talk about your identity as an LGBT person in corporate America. And we have a budget for it. So I said, great, this is cool. I'm looking for a side gig anyways. And we got in a conversation and she said, how much do you charge? And for some reason, y'all, I said $500. I don't know why. I guess that's just the amount that everybody charges. If you've ever charged $500 for a speaking engagement, going to put the word 500 in there or put the numbers 500. So I said 500 and the person was like, we have a bigger budget. I want you to ask for more. And that was the first moment where I was like, oh, a bigger budget. Let me see what I can get. So what I decided to do was ask for what I was getting paid that month, which was $3,000. So I said, hey, I'm getting paid $3,000 a month. Let me see if I can get this for 45 minutes. This would be really cool. Had no idea if she would accept it. So I reached back out to her, asked for $3,000, and she said, you're good to go. And I spoke on that panel, and that was one of the first times I got paid 4 figures to speak. So for me, I was able to see that, hey, I can get paid speaking engagements. This is the thing that I can do on the side. How do I strategize to do this more, right? So from 2016 to 19, I utilized this strategy. I sent out cold emails to everyone in my personal network, and I also purchased a cold list on Fiverr. Anybody ever used Fiverr before? Just put a 1 in the chat if you used Fiverr before in your business. One of those amazing platforms that I think allow us to grow without a big budget. So I used Fiverr to reach out to folks, and I got this list. It was about of 100 people, and I emailed 100 people a month, and I made about $15,000 a year from that time. It was a really good side gig. I mean, I think $15,000 a year as a side gig is pretty darn powerful. So in 2020, before the pandemic, y'all, this is pre-pandemic, before March 2020, I got an amazing message on LinkedIn that changed my life. And it was from a woman named Minky. And Minky was really cool because she sent me an automated message. Anybody ever got an automated message on LinkedIn? If you have, just put LinkedIn in the chat, put the word LinkedIn in the chat. So I got this automated message from Minky. And for me, it was interesting because I could tell it was automated, but it did not feel automated. It felt personal, but I knew she couldn't be doing this like just by herself. I knew she had a team. So she was trying to see if she could support me as a speaker to get more contracts. So I said, okay, let me get on a call with Minky and see what she's talking about. So I started working with her and her team. They were an amazing team. Minky was what I call a boss CEO. I learned a lot from her about team structure, and I'm so thankful to her to this day. And actually, when we had our beta group in Speaking for Profit, she came and actually did a training. So what her team told me to do was you're going to sign up for Sales Navigator on LinkedIn. And what's great about that platform is it allows you to look up leads and people based off of their demographics, where do they live, what is their job description, how long have they been at their company, so that we can create this targeted list to reach out to 50 new people a week. And then she supported me in creating some messaging. And then we had a spreadsheet. And this is a spreadsheet. This is a literal spreadsheet that you're seeing right here, y'all, that Minky had me use. And the way that it's categorized is green mean it's good to go. Like this was a contract that we actually secured. Red meant that it was not a good lead. Yellow meant that it was a warm lead, but we needed to follow up. And everything in white is things that I didn't get to. So I wasn't doing a good job with this. I would get a few opportunities and then I would kind of forget about Minky in the spreadsheet. And to be honest, it was a little bit overwhelming, but it was a strategy that worked for me. So I figured out something with Minky. If I update my LinkedIn profile and really amplify it and create a targeted list on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, reach out to leads and nurture them, book calls, I can book contracts. One of the things that I always share with my clients and I'll share with you today is if you have an empty calendar, guaranteed you got an empty bank account. So I knew that if I could keep book calls on my calendar with potential decision makers, I was going to be able to grow my business. And I'm thankful because I was like, this is a lot easier than sending those cold emails to people who don't know me. Most of the time when I was sending out those cold emails, I would get a lot of kickbacks, mainly because what happens is if you send a cold email, you're not in their network, it's really hard to get through. But what's great about LinkedIn is not only is it more direct, but people can actually see your profile. And if you have a profile that is amplified, which we teach our clients to do, it even makes you more successful. So the strategy worked with Minky. It was really successful. I grew my LinkedIn from 500 people to 1,500 people in a very short amount of time. And at that time, COVID hit and everyone was looking for virtual speaking opportunities. So I was really primed for it because I had the technology. I actually had the webcam right here. It's a Logitech webcam that I still have today. I'm still using the same technology. I had a solid circle light, so I can make it happen and I can make the money. So in 2020, right, remember I told you before, between 2016 and 2019, averaging about $15,000 a year, I made $65,000 in 2020, which was pretty darn good. If y'all think that's good, go on and put money in the chat. because I think that that's big money, especially for, the beginning of my business and starting a new strategy. Going to put money in the chat because $65,000 is not a little bit of money. My business tripled, and I was speaking like 2 to 3 times a week. And I remember this particularly, y'all. This was the year that the Los Angeles Lakers won the championship, right? And I was speaking on that night. And it was a few Laker fans during that speaking engagement. So that was actually really cool. And one of those engagements I found through this work with Minky. So it was a blessing. But in order to work with Minky and her team, I had to spend $15,000 that year, right? Plus the cost of Sales Navigator, which is about $100 a month. And I had to spend 5 to 10 hours a week managing a spreadsheet and sending out follow-up messages. So while I made so much money, I was throwing money out the window, literally, because I was not able to keep up with the lead flow. I remember in particular, I was on LinkedIn and I was really swamped, and I found a message where someone had reached out to me to confirm an invoice for a $30,000 opportunity. So I don't know how much money I missed out on that year just by not being organized and not being able to get to all of them. My LinkedIn Messenger was extremely full, leads were getting old, and I just couldn't keep up. So I made more money, but I was extremely burnt out. And that's why I want to teach the strategy to y'all today. The truth is this: if you put together a solid LinkedIn profile, if you're in conversations with people and you have a framework and a signature talk that's going to change the world, you're going to get paid to speak. But getting paid to speak is just the beginning. Being able to do it in an easeful way and have easeful abundance is what I want for you and what I want for diverse speakers, especially the folks that we have in Speaking for Profit University. So I made more money, but I was extremely burnt out, and I said, I got to do something else. So I started to look around at LinkedIn and talk to developers. And that's when we created the LinkedIn Lead Generation app, which allows us to reach out to 500 decision makers a month, get in the conversation, and do it in a very easeful way. So through this app and through the framework that I'm going to teach you, we were able to make over $200,000 from this strategy and spend less than 10 minutes a day reaching out to leads, which is a big deal. Prospecting, reaching out, being able to have conversations is the bread and butter of our businesses as speakers and consultants. So if we can spend less time doing that and more time actually using our muscles as speakers and changing the world, the better it's going to be. So went from making 65,000, right, working 5 to 10 hours a week, going through that spreadsheet to creating an app that allowed me to make $200,000 and spend less than 10 minutes a day. I say that that's a win. If you agree that that's a win, go on and put the word win in the chat because we are winners here in this building. And also, I just want to make sure that you're still paying attention because I know that it's late and some of you might have already had dinner. Post dinner means itis for many of us. So go on and put the word win into the chat. So what I learned from this app that we built was it's not just about that 4-step framework that we got from Minky, but it's really about the LinkedIn sales funnel. We're building our network on LinkedIn, right? What we're doing is every month we're bringing 500 people into your profile because what we understand is that out of those 500 people, everyone's not going to be your ideal client or customer. Some of them are going to start a conversation with you and you're going to start to build a relationship. You're going to start to unearth some pain points and offer value through your messaging. And we teach you how to create messaging that is actually human, not messaging that's salesy and that pushes people away. And then you're going to nurture those prospects and close deals. But what I want you to think about is this: 500 people to start and maybe only 250 respond. That's a good thing, 50%. Out of that, maybe only 100 people actually get on a call with you. And maybe out of that 100, only 50 you're able to close the deal with. We don't need a whole lot of business to be successful, but we do need a whole lot of people on our profile to build credibility. So what this system does is it adds more people in so they're able to see you, and then it also brings you new business quicker. Some people who are on your profile, they might not have business for you today, but maybe they're working at a company that doesn't have a budget, but things change really quickly and they might be working at a company that does have a budget in the next few years, or they might even get a raise or an advancement. So having more people on your profile that know about you, your brand, and your business is always going to be a good deal. But what we want to do is be creating amazing content on LinkedIn, making sure that we're sharing our frameworks and what we believe in, sharing other people's articles, creating polls to really be engaged. And then on the back end, you'll have the lead gen app working for you so that it's in conversation with people and you're able to get them on phone calls and book more contracts. So the 4-step process, right, to launch your campaign effectively is you're going to build your qualified lead list on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You're going to write a clear, driven message that allows people to get replies. What we want people to do is to answer and to get in conversation with us. I don't book contracts on LinkedIn. I book contracts on phone calls. My joy and the thing that I'm doing on LinkedIn is just trying to get on a call with people who are interested in my framework where I can support them. If they're not interested, then I move on because someone will be. We don't move from scarcity, we move from prosperity always. So it's sending out hundreds of messages to direct leads every day, and you're instantly notified when the lead responds. What this does is it helps you close the deal a lot quicker. So you're not doing things like I was by messing up on the spreadsheet and missing out on $30,000 contracts because you don't have organization and you don't have a system. So this is LinkedIn Sales Navigator for folks who haven't seen it before. Literally, you can build your ideal list. So let's say that you've already had speaking engagements before, and maybe you're like me and you've spoken in higher education. And for folks who want to speak in higher education, you might want to write down some of these titles because these are titles that actually can get you paid opportunities. And maybe you have worked with a program manager, a program director, assistant director, or even a director of a resource center, whether that's a women's resource center or a multicultural center or a gender resource center on campus, Black resource centers, even though they're closing down some of those because of what's going on in our political climate. You can literally put in their professional profile and you can put in the demographic place that you want to reach out to. So maybe you want to reach out to everybody in New York, or maybe you want to reach out to everybody in LA, or maybe you're interested in doing something that's more international. We can literally curate the list of people. So instead of you having some email list of people that you don't know, you know who you're reaching out to, which makes it a lot more simpler. We can also not reach out to people. So when I was working in higher education before I left 9 to 5 and decided to be a full-time speaker and consultant, I always would make sure that we weren't reaching out to my job, right? So not reaching out to anything connected to the University of California, not just the University of California, San Francisco, but UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, UC Berkeley, whatever the UC was, I made sure that we didn't reach out to those as well. So we're able to curate that list so that you know exactly who you're reaching out to. And then you're going to use our money-making script. And the way that we utilize our messaging, and I want you to write this down in your notes as well, because I know some of you are probably struggling with messaging. Messaging is so important that you're authentic. So the very first message that we always send is based off of curiosity and a compliment. So what we want to say is, hey, impressed by your background, would love to connect. Something really simple because we're just trying to get connections. We're just trying to build connections with people. Then we can get into asking them about accomplishments or celebrations that they're excited about. So for instance, when I was doing a lot of things around LGBT inclusivity in higher education, I would say, what are you looking forward to for Pride Month this year? Or are there any initiatives that you have planned for National Coming Out Day? This is a simple question that gets people going. And sometimes they have events and sometimes they don't. But if they don't, I'm able to talk to them about the particular offer that I have, or if they do, I'm able to see if they actually have a speaker that's available or if they're looking for one. So we want to lead with curiosity and a compliment because we're in a relationship building business. If you don't have relationship building skills, you're not going to really do well. And our money making script makes this easy so that you're not coming off salesy, so that people don't get offended and you're able to build true relationships with people. Step 3 is the LinkedIn lead generation system literally will send out automated message for you. So instead of you having to send these messages out and make time on your calendar on your busy schedule to send them out, it literally will be sending it out every day. And then when the person responds, you are the one that picks up that message to keep it going. All you have to do is handle the replies and set up 10 minutes a day to go in there and clear out your messages. The other great thing about it that we've added as an addition is the ability to tag. Because what we know is that sometimes people are just not the people you want to talk to. So you can tag them uninterested, or maybe you have other things that people might be interested in working with you with. I know for me, I have a podcast, shameless plug. If you're on YouTube, check us out, Speaking for Profit podcast. It's an amazing show where we talk about monetizing your message. But sometimes I meet people and they're not necessarily going to be my client, but they might be a great podcast guest. So what I'll do is I'll tag them as podcast guests. And then when we start our next season, I have a list of people to reach out to, which is always great. So we're meeting people to build relationship. Some of them are going to be for business, other can be for other business strategy. So our dashboard is an ongoing management that will ensure measurable success and continue it in your business. So how will it do that? We're going to use custom templates to easily manage sales conversations and spend less time replying. So the other thing that you can do within the app is, let's say that there's consistent messages that you send over and over again. One of the messages that I always send is, hey, Jim, or hey, first name, this is great. Let's go on and get on a call. Here's my Calendly. You don't want to have to keep typing that over and over again. So what you can do is you create a short message within the app, and then all you got to do is click one button, it populates it. So this is the reason why it only takes 10 minutes a day. What you're really doing is just moving the conversation forward until you get them on a phone call so that you can ultimately close some contracts. The other thing that it has to make sure that it's successful is performance. We always want to know the performance of a campaign. And I'm going to tell you all this now. If you don't have a lot of experience in sales, we're here to support you. If we are in business and we're wanting to make money, we are in sales. But in order to really make true decisions, we've got to know the data. The data is going to be so important. In order for us to know if your campaign is working, we got to know how many people are you connecting with, who's opening the messages, how many people are responding, how many book calls are we getting, how many of those calls are actually converting into contracts. So the app will break down that data for you so that we're able to review it on our coaching calls and see exactly what's working and what's not working and adjust. I have a client that I'm working with right now. His name is K. Kenneth Davis, and he used this app and he was able to close 1 year of business in the first quarter of the year. He does a lot of talks around finance and financial literacy, especially in the LGBT community. And for the first time in about 5 years, he was able to take Pride Month off and not work, which is a big thing, right? So for you, you want to make sure that your campaign is curated and successful. And what I can say about Kenneth is that he is a data geek. He's actually a data scientist. And was looking at his data all the time to adjust to make sure that he was reaching out, number one, to the right people, but with the right messaging. So as I said before, we've got tracking, tags. You're also able to snooze replies because I know some of you might go on vacation or you might take a break. So you can snooze it or create out of the office messages. You can also pause the campaign so it doesn't reach out to new people if it becomes overwhelming. And one of the things I always want to share with you all is that even though the campaign and the app is set up to reach out to a maximum of 500 people a month, maybe you don't want to reach out to 500. Maybe you're like, Evolve, I only need to reach out to 250. That's fine. You can go in within it, adjust it, and decide on what you have the capacity for. You have the ability to edit your outreach anytime to improve your campaign messages. So you can go in and edit them, update them as much as you want, or you can have multiple campaigns going at one time. So I have some clients who are coaches and digital product owners, or I have another client who has a massage business. Anybody have multiple business and that's a serial entrepreneur here. If you have multiple businesses, just go on and put the word money in the chat. I just want to see who's in the space. So maybe you want to have a campaign that's going for your speaking business, but you also want to bring in coaching clients or consulting clients or other clients for your other businesses. You can have two campaigns going at one time, which always makes this system really successful when you're wanting to use it. You'll instantly get notified in your inbox when someone replies so that you don't miss out on responses from decision makers. And it'll come up simply like this. It'll be the name, it'll be the message so that you know how to reply to them. And then you will receive weekly, monthly email performance reports on your campaign for full visibility so that you're able to see how well it's doing and how successful it is. So it's a pretty easy 4 steps. We build the qualified lead list on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. We write clear messages and put them together so that they're able to get simple replies. It sends hundreds of messages so that you're able to build up your LinkedIn profile, remain credible, but also book contracts. And then you're notified so that you can get on calls and close the deal. Simple process instead of using spreadsheets and cold emailing and all of that. Now, what I will say is that there's nothing wrong with cold emailing. It's just the long way. LinkedIn lead generation app is the quicker way to get it. So if you are on the path to the quickest way to the bag, this is going to be the thing that's the easiest and the more simple path for you. I don't know about you, but I'm about easeful abundance. So I'm going to make money quick. I want to make it quick so that I can invest it and ultimately retire early. But I do still do cold email campaigns for other parts of my business because I do know that it works, but it just takes longer. LinkedIn is always going to be something that's quicker because literally people can see your face. They can see your degrees. They can see the people that you're connected with. If you're creating amazing content and writing newsletters or articles or have a YouTube channel, they can see all of that. So your decision makers and your prospects that want to work with you, the trust is built a lot quicker than them getting an email from someone that they don't know. And that's the way that we've seen conversions work. So I'm going to share a quick story with y'all. We went through how to do this. So you can probably do this on your own, but I'm also going to share with you how you can get the app and how you can get access. I made $40,000 using the LinkedIn Lead Gen app by simply sending out one message. And this was a really cool opportunity. So I want to share it with you. And I want to share this with you because it doesn't always happen like this, but when it does, it's magic. So I sent this message to Tavares Blackman, who was working actually at an art institute in San Francisco. And it says, "Hey, Tavares, see, we both have a shared passion for diversity and inclusion. It'd be great to connect with you and hear about your DEI initiatives. Best evolve." This is an automated message that's been sent out to hundreds of people, but Tavares got it and he decided to open it. He said, "Hello, looking for any voluntary resources regarding DEI. I'm a president member of a co-op gallery and DEI co-chair of a wage certified nonprofit art center in SF. We're currently looking for a consultant. Thanks." So I said, "Great, Tavares. Any of these times work for us to discuss," and I gave him my Calendly. Now, one of the things that we do teach within Speaking for Profit is how do you set up your Calendly for success so that you make sure the people you're getting on calls with are actually people who can pay you. One pro tip that I'll give you, and I want you to write this down, is instead of just having a question on your Calendly that says, "What's your budget?" make it a sliding scale. So say, "What's your budget?" Don't keep it open, and you're going to have 1,000 to 3,000, 4,000 to 6,000, 7,000 to 10,000, so that they actually have to select the budget. That can move the money conversation along a lot quicker. So I hope for some of you that was a helpful pro tip. When people have to complete a Calendly like that, they actually have to answer the questions and you don't have to feel awkward around asking for money. So there's a lot of other questions that we suggest that you add in, but if anything, I want you to walk away with that one so that you can get to the bag quicker. So I got on this call with Tavares and his team and his executive director, and they were looking for a consultant, y'all, and I was able to book a $40,000 contract with them. I worked with them for a few months. I did some actual focus groups. I actually put together an external report and did a couple of trainings. It was powerful, it was easeful, and it happened from a couple of messages. So we know that this system works, and when it's aligned, it's always successful. And the great thing about it is when I asked Tavares and his team, I asked them, I said, "Why did you answer me and why did you decide to tell me that you were looking for a consultant?" He said, "Because of your profile. Your profile was amplified. It was set up." He didn't use the word amplified, but he said your profile was popping. I think that's exactly what he said because he's an artist and he wanted to work with me. So we got to make sure that the machine is full and is fully put together. It was a great moment. So tell me something, y'all. If you're interested in the Lead Gen app, just going to put the word "win" into the chat because I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how to get access to it. This is usually when people decide to leave. So I would suggest you don't leave because even though we're talking about pricing, there are some opportunities for you to win, like I said, but the lead generation app, right, is $19.97 a month. And this is a fail-proof. It includes a community manager to support you, also high-quality leads. And just to let you know, cold emailing costs you anywhere between $100 to $300 a month, right? So this really does end up saving you a lot of money at the end of the day when you're trying to reach out to people. And you're going to have to do two things. You're either going to pay to play, which is this, or you're going to do it organically. And if you don't have enough time to do it organically, you're not going to be successful. So most people who are very successful speakers are using some type of automation in their business to be able to grow it. And this is one of the platforms that we've been able to come with. So using the Lead Gen app, Dr. Christine Coleman was able to go from zero to making $10,000 per speaking engagement. Zami was able to bring in a $200,000 consulting contract using this system. But I want to know for you all, if you want to know how to get the lead generation app for free, if that would be impactful for your business to be able to get it for free, go on and put the word free in the chat. If that would be impactful for your business, for you to be able to use the Lead Gen app. And I need people to commit to it before I move on, because I don't want to keep telling people about it if you don't feel like it's something that could be good for you and your business. So I'm looking the chat now. I see Taylor saying free. I see Dad Grad Gamer is saying free. Anybody else thinking that this is something that would be helpful for them? I see a F coming in from Fadila. Thank you so much for saying that. Free, okay, F free. Great, definitely. So I want to share with you all how you can get free access to it so that you can get started bringing in high ticket, high end contracts into your business, and not just like getting paid, but doing it in an easeful way, right? Because like I said, you could pay to play and be doing cold emailing, and it might be something that is going to take you a little bit longer. And what we know is with our current economy, we want money now. We want to be successful now. We don't want to have to wait. So at the beginning of this presentation, I let you all know that I was going to let you know how to win, right? Let you know what it takes to win. And I really want to do that for you today. So I want to introduce you to Speaking for Profit Academy, which is our amazing core program that will support you with growing your business to your first 6 or 7 figures as a speaker or consultant. And the one thing I want to share with you is we do work with public speakers, we do work with consultants, but what we work with is change agents, people who have a framework that are going to change the world. Those are the people that I'm the most passionate about working with. And I believe that you should monetize your message. The reason that I started Speaking for Profit University is when you look at the top paid speakers in the world, many of them do not look like folks who are on this call. There's a lack of diversity. There's actually a lack of talent, but they have the business strategy. So we want to be able to have both of those. And that's why I'm excited to share the Academy with you. So when you join Speaking for Profit Academy, you will get access to the lead generation app for free for 90 days. That is valued at $5,991. And within Lead Gen app, you also get that campaign manager so that you're able to know the stats and the data so that you're able to make informed decisions and not emotional decisions about your business, which ultimately makes you successful. You're also going to get access to the Speaking for Profit curriculum, which has helped our clients make over $3 million in the last 3 years. Now, let's talk a little bit about what's in our curriculum. We'll go through each phase so that you can get the detail, but we have 3 phases, right? And this is a 4-month program. So the 4th month of the program, you're really working on booking, staying booked and busy, and getting more contracts. But let's talk about the first 3 months. First 3 months is the foundation, right? The first month is going to be all about creating your money back prophecy, creating your offer blueprint. So maybe you already have a signature talk, or maybe you don't have one yet. We're going to support you with creating that. But you don't want to just have a signature talk. You want to always have a downsell, maybe a digital product or a recording of you speaking that you can sell if the person doesn't have the budget. And you always want to have an extended way that people can work with you, whether that is a retainer or bringing you in for multiple contracts. And then we're going to start off by reaching out to warm leads. We always want to use the messaging to reach out to people that you know first before we activate the LinkedIn Lead Gen app. Because what we know is that most of you all have an amazing network of opportunity and what we call low-hanging fruit and opportunities that are already there. So we want to reach out to people you know first. And then in month 2, we upgrade you to the LinkedIn Lead Gen app. But first, we want you to upgrade your LinkedIn profile. We actually have a course called the LinkedIn Growth Blueprint that breaks down how to exactly set up your LinkedIn profile for success so that you attract the right people. Then we install the LinkedIn Lead Gen app into your business, and you are starting to attract amazing decision makers, get on calls, and grow your business. Stage 6 is all about creating your speaker's reel and your attractive speaker profile, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then phase 3 is scale, right? So now that you have speaking engagements coming in, how do you secure longer term contracts? How do you begin to build your credibility by becoming an amazing podcast guest? We have some strategies around that, and even a pitch template so that you can pitch to be on your favorite podcast, and then creating your own profitable stage, whether that's through going live on YouTube or on Instagram or any platform where you're able to create your own stage. So let's talk about each phase. We talked about number 1, which is the foundations, right? Creating your money back prophecy. That's literally a physical representation of how much money you want to bring in the next year, so that when times get a little bit challenging in your business, or when you're celebrating your business, you have the ability to look at something and have that vision. It's almost like a vision board, but it's a little bit more intentional. Creating that offer blueprint, of course, so that you have that 3 frames of offers that you're able to sell, and then reaching out to warm leads. Our goal is to help you book your first high paid speaking or consulting contract within the first 14 days. And that is the main goal of the foundations phase. Once we move to that and you've booked your first speaking opportunity, we want to see if you are ready to win, right? So I know some of you are here to create history. If you're here to create history, you're going to put the word win into the chat. So one of our clients, Enzi, he was able to, in the foundation phase of the program, make $4,000 in the first 2 weeks. And that's what we want for you. So maybe you will beat the Speaking for Profit record, and you will bring in $4,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 in the first week. But for right now, Enzi is the one who has the record for that. Then we move into our growth phase, and that's all about upgrading your LinkedIn profile for success, starting to create actual content on the platform if you have a dead profile, which means posting at least 3 times a week, installing the LinkedIn Lead Gen app, which will support you with, and then we are going to take your information and create an amazing electronic press kit for you so that you have a great speaker's profile. What I like to do is take my EPK, my electronic press kit, and I'll show you more of that later on in this presentation, and put it with the proposal so that people have a name to the face. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. The whole goal of the growth phase is to help you establish credibility and grow your audience by 500 new people on your LinkedIn in the first 45 days. Some of you might already have a few thousand people on your LinkedIn, and some of you are just getting started. You only got 1 or 2 people. So we want to make sure that we amplify that and we build out and build credibility for you. Using this strategy and using this phase, I have personally grown my LinkedIn from that 1,000 people to over 10,000 connections. And you can go check out my LinkedIn now. I think we're at 11,000. And I've booked over $300,000 in contracts from using my LinkedIn and really connecting with my audience. So we know that this works, and we know that it can help you be successful. And then the last phase is phase 3, which is all about scaling, right? We're going to support you in securing some of those longer term contracts. For example, Zami was able to secure a contract with Arizona Department of Health, which has been amazing for him, and purchase his first home. Become a great podcast guest, which I've been able to do. Another pro tip that I'll give y'all, if you are on podcast already, if you're already podcast guesting, do me a favor, put the word podcast in the chat. But if you're already podcast guesting, take all of the podcasts that you have and put them on a Spotify playlist. And then when you send out your media kit, send that link so that people can hear your voice. Sometimes people will tell me, Evolve, I don't have a speaker's reel yet. Whatever, you don't have a recording of you speaking, but you probably have been on a few podcasts. That's a great way for decision makers to hear your voice. And then we're going to support you in creating your live experience, your own profitable stage. One of my clients, Miss Jai, which is an amazing speaker on healthcare, she has a show called Ask Miss Jai Live, where people can come on once a week and ask her about healthcare and the benefits of supporting folks in patient advocacy. So for you, we want you to have that as well, because what we understand is there's nothing more powerful than building your own audience. Having, an audience from an organization is great, but if you're able to have your own audience, you're going to be successful. So our goal is to support you in being able to build something where you're able to make at least an additional $30,000 a year from licensing your own digital products or your own digital frameworks. And the way you're going to be able to do that, right, is really by becoming a great podcast guest and starting to put some of this content together. So my client, Christine Coleman, by utilizing this strategy, being on podcasts, creating her first digital launch and digital course, was able to create her program called Women of Color Thriving, and she had a $30,000 launch on top of the $100,000 that she brought in that year, right? So we know that this framework is successful. The reason we want to have another side of the business, y'all, too, just to be transparent, and don't worry, we're going to be getting to the end so you all can ask questions. The reason we want to have this is because you might have times when you want to take off of your business, or you might have times when you need to rest, or you may have times when you're going to want to go out of the country. Having a digital product or having a stage where you can create some videos that are going to be promoted and put up while you're gone keeps your business going even when you're taking a break. So the Speaking for Profit curriculum is valued at $19.97, and that brings the value up of Speaking for Profit Academy to $7,988. The other thing that is within the academy is weekly business momentum coaching. And I believe in the power of coaching. Some of the greats that we have in history, including Michael Jordan, Serena, and Venus Williams, the amazing, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, have had coaches who have allowed them to be successful. And myself and my team, we have a senior client success coach and accountability coach who's here to support you. On our Monday calls, we also pass the bag. So during that call, it's a group coaching call. Folks come on, and if they have opportunities, they will bring them to the stage, and they will ask if people want to be co-facilitators to be able to support each other. So one of the largest contracts that folks have been able to secure at Speaking for Profit University has been $250,000 to be able to split between, I believe it was 3 people who secured that contract. So another way that you all can create history when you join us is by getting a bigger contract, or maybe even a contract where more of you are able to work together. Now, one thing that we always suggest is that you have contractual agreements and partner agreements so that you're able to work with one another. But that's been really cool to see, is that from those Monday business momentum calls, people really get into action and working together as a group to secure some amazing work together, whether it's government contracts, which we help people secure, or even some of those more private contracts. It's been really cool and really successful. So weekly business momentum calls, those are valued at $60,000 because they're very, very impactful. And even if we just had that in the program, it could support a lot of people in learning how to delegate, learning how to actually collaborate with people, which I think is great in business. So the value of Speaking for Profit Academy is $67,000 as we move on. The other thing that we have is our weekly messaging classes and marketing classes. We call this our content review roundtable. And what we do here is when you have a proposal or you have a social media piece or you have a speech, you can bring it to this call. It's every Thursday, and we'll give you feedback on it so that you're able to be successful. That's valued at $20,000 for the marketing and messaging classes. I believe if you were to just purchase probably a marketing and messaging course, it probably would be valued at that, because we know that marketing is the life and breath of our businesses. So now we're up to $87,000 for Speaking for Profit Academy. And then we have our, of course, Speaking for Profit Mastermind community, which is a private space full of amazing folks who have been doing this, some for a couple of weeks and some for a couple of decades. And what I love about that community is that I'm a brilliant person, y'all, and y'all probably have learned that from this training today. I have a lot of confidence, so I believe in myself. But the stuff that I learned from everyone in the community on a daily basis is so powerful. from people putting in speaking opportunities to people sharing grant opportunities to people giving feedback on social media posts to people collaborating and being on each other's podcasts. It's just a great community to be a part of. And that's valued at $10,000. We also have the Speaking for Profit stage. So once a month, we host an open mic where you can come to the stage and share your framework, share your speech. What we do is we record that, which is great. And then we produce shorts and reels for you so that you can share them on social media. So you come through, you sign up to be on the mic. We usually will post this on YouTube or somewhere or YouTube, or even Zoom. Sometimes we'll do it on Zoom so that we can give you feedback. And then we take that, our media team, because we do have a media team here at Speaking for Profit, cuts it up into some amazing pieces so that you can share it on your social media. And then you're able to create content while you're in the space and not create content in a bubble, right? Which can be a little bit annoying. If you all have a speaker's reel already, go on to put the word money in the chat. Want to see who has one, but if you don't have one, this will be a great space for you to be able to create. If you already have one, go on to put the word money in the chat. What we know about a speaker's reel is that if you have a well-produced speaker's reel, it signals professionalism and suggests that you're taking your craft seriously. This can increase your perceived value by hundreds of thousands of dollars and encourage event organizers to invest more in hiring them. So people who have speakers reels and they send those in with their proposals and those budgets, they're able to get paid more because people can see the proof of concept. If you tell me you're a public speaker and I don't see you speak, am I really going to believe you? Right? It's like you telling me, hey, I'm going to show you this new movie I came out with, and you don't even have a trailer. People want to see a proof of concept and they want to see the work, and we want to support you in creating that. So Speakers Reel today is probably worth about $5,000 if you hired a videographer and a media team. And we've included that value here for Speaking for Profit Academy. One more thing I want to share with you all is our partner program. So we believe in partnership, and most of the people that get invited to Speaking for Profit Academy are referrals. If you're a referral here, going to put the word love in the chat. I'm always like to see when my referrals are in the building, and it takes love to refer somebody to something that you really appreciate. So what we do is if you refer someone to Speaking for Profit and they join us, we'll give you a kickback so that you can have money in your business. So I always tell people you're probably able to make money from day one in Speaking for Profit University simply by joining our partner program, promoting the things that we have going on, and telling people that you think are like-minded who want to join. If they join, you'll get a kickback and we both win. So that is priceless, right? Because I mean, there's so much that you can make from that. We have clients who've made a few $1,000s a month from promoting Speaking for Profit University, and we've had people who've made a couple of $1,000 in a year, right? Imagine if you can make about $6,000 to $10,000 a year just from promoting and sharing with people about Speaking for Profit University. So the total value is $102,000 for Speaking for Profit Academy. But before we get into ways to invest, I want to know, did you all go to college and was it worth it? I know that this might be a strange question, but just tell me. If you went to college, put the word college in the chat. If you thought it was worth it, put the word college. If you didn't think it was worth it, put no school. If you didn't think it was worth it, put no school. I see some people went to college, they think it was worth it. I think it was worth it as well. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I love my degree and I love my folks. Now, I want you to know this. Most people do not actually end up in the field that they go to school for. They don't. 27% of graduates actually are working in the field that they went to school for. I actually went to school for communications, so I'm in the 27%. But then you have folks like my client, Zami Hemingway, right? He was working as a social worker in his 9 to 5, and he was making about $5,000 a month. So about $60,000 a year in the Bay Area. Not bad, but also not a really living wage. When he started working with me, right, as a health consultant, he moved up to making $20,000 a month and $240,000 a year, right? So in 10 years, he was making about $600,000 from being a social worker. However, from being a health consultant and a speaker, he ended up making in 10 years $2.4 million. So I say that for you to think about it, right? I know some of you are probably thinking for yourself, do I get started with this now or later? The opportunity cost that Zami missed out on by working in his chosen field and not actually using his expertise for monetization and for profit is 1.8 million. That's how much he missed out on. $1.8 million, right? $1.8 million by not having this knowledge and not having this framework. That's the opportunity cost. 1.8 million. If y'all think that's a lot of money, go on and put the word love in the chat, because we love Zami and we know that it's a lot and we don't want to miss out on that, right? $1.8 million. So when you think about that, $102,000 for Speaking for Profit Academy is not a major deal when you might have the opportunity to make $1.8 million. If someone said to me today, I'm gonna give you $1.8 million, if you give me 100,000, I would be figuring out how to scrape and find that money. But I have some great news for you all. I am not going to make you or ask you to invest $102,000 to be in Speaking for Profit Academy. I'm not even going to suggest that you invest half of that at 51. The tuition to join Speaking for Profit Academy is normally $12,000 for the quarter, right? Because we work with you for 4 months. However, for today, in order to get the LinkedIn Lead Gen app for 90 days for free, the Speaking for Profit curriculum that we talked about that helps you make your first 6 to 7 figures, our weekly business momentum call so that we can hold you accountable, but also you can meet with like-minded people and secure contracts, our messaging and marketing classes, the S4P Mastermind community, the stage and speakers reel, and even the partner program. It's not $12,000, right? That's normally what we do, but for now we are in open enrollment. And what we are doing is $4,000 paid in full today for Speaking for Profit Academy. Remember that that gives you access to everything that we just talked about, but let's talk about paid in full bonuses. And what I'll do is I'll ask my amazing colleague, Michaela, to go on and put that link in the chat for people who might be interested in joining us and checking it out now for the $4,000 that we talked about paid in full today. So you can go on and share that link in the chat, Michaela, if you're still here. And if not, I'll grab the link in the chat in a moment. So if folks are to pay in full today, you will also get a one-on-one call with me in order for us to sit down and build out your business strategy and have a conversation about how you can be successful in this short amount of time, right? Remember, we're here today to talk about how to make $30,000 in the next 90 days without burning out. And sometimes we need one-on-one support. If you know that you're a person who needs more one-on-one support, I suggest that you pay in full so that you can get this phone call with me. Now, what I will say is that my amazing client, Desmond Davis, you could look him up. He has a great brand called The House of Inspired with his amazing wife. We had a one-on-one call and we strategized around a contract that he was fulfilling. And he was able to bring in $10,000 after us being on that call. So this is actually a screenshot from a text message that he sent me on our school community. And he said, Coach E, when he got the check in the mail, because we had that great strategy call session during our one-on-one call. And he signed up for Speaking for Profit Academy just like you all. He took his leap of faith, went on and paid in full. We had that strategy call and he was able to book this amazing contract. So if you know that you're a person who needs that one-on-one support, that's going to be for you. Michaela, are you still here and able to put that in the chat for us if you haven't yet? If you are and you hear me, please put it in the chat. Thank you so much. And then we also have our fast action bonus. So this is for folks, this is not for folks who pay in full. This is for folks who are deciding to get started with us in the next few days. We're gonna create a customized electronic press kit for you. And what this does is when you have a proposal, and let me go on and do this for y'all, because okay, cool. I think Michaela just put it in the chat. Okay, great. So it's in the chat. If you need it, Michaela just put it in for folks. I just want to make sure that she heard me. I know Michaela might be over there asleep. She's in South Africa. So our fast action bonus for today is we're going to create an electronic press kit for you. This electronic press kit you're able to use with your proposals so that people are able to put a name to the face. So we created this one for Desmond. When he secured that $10,000 contract, he put this with his proposal. What we've simply asked you to do is complete a simple Google form with information, your bio, some photos of yourself, and then my team will put it together so that you have it to be able to share out with your proposals. We do not share this out with pitches. We share this out with proposals. So you get on the call with the decision maker. They're like, Taylor, Michelle, I want you to send me a proposal. This was a great call. You send them the proposal and you attach the speaker's reel with it so that there's a name to the face. The reason we do this is we realize that the person you're on the call with is not the only decision maker. It might be their boss, it might be the board, it might be the VP. So in order for them to remember your name and your face, we want to make sure that we have this attached to it, always including a testimonial and other ways that they can see and support your business. And then also, that's the bonus, right? For the first 5 people that sign up today, we've already had one person sign up actually earlier this week. So it's actually going to be the bonus for the first 4 people that sign up today. We'll get that. The other fast action bonus will be our $1 Million Messenger script that I told you all about. You'll get access to that and be able to start getting messaging going. We're also going to include our email messaging script, which I think is just important for your warm emails leads that you're going to be reaching out to. And then we're also going to give you 100 leads in your industry. So there's 7 industries within the speaking and consulting field. There's faith-based organizations, nonprofits, corporates, higher education, K through 12. And we're going to give you 100 leads similar to the ones that I found on Fiverr. However, these are verified leads that you can start to reach out to practice some cold emailing if you want to, and get some of those skill sets under your books as well. The other fast action bonus that we're going to give you is our 7-figure speaking proposal template. This template is literally what all of my clients use for their proposals to be successful. And this is a blank template, but we will also give you one that I have sent in, the one that I actually sent in to make that $40,000 ask. I'll give you that one so that you can utilize that when you start to get in calls with decision makers. So for this week only, to join Speaking for Profit Academy, it is $4,000 paid in full for today. There are 10 spots available in our intimate group, and then we're going to shut it down. We actually open enrollment and close it. So it'll be open for this next month. We'll probably open it up again in October. But right now is the best time to get started because this is a quarterly business. And what I want you all to know is the reps that you put in now will be the reps that you get for the winter and for the fall in your business. Many people who have speaking engagements right now, they were sending out messages and in conversations with decision makers in the spring and the summer. Many people who have opportunities in the winter have already started to reach out to people right now. So we want to make sure that we are on top of things and moving it forward. So here's the deal. End of the day on Sunday, it's going to go back up to $5,500. But if you get in before then, it's going to be $4,000 for you to get started with Speaking for Profit Academy. And just for folks, just so you know, it includes all of those fast action bonuses, the lead gen app, of course, the curriculum, the business momentum calls, our messaging marketing classes, and our community. We also have a love it or leave it option for you all. So if you are a part of the Academy for 7 days and you're like, you know what, Evolve, this is actually not working for me, we will give you a refund and give you your money back because we want to make sure that we have people in our community who actually want to be there, who feel aligned, who feel successful. So that is our love it or leave it policy. You're in it for 7 days and you're like, Evolve, this is not for me. We will give you your full refund and give you your investment back. So what happens next? Let's talk about that. If you go over to the link, you'll see here that it breaks down what we talked about today that you'll get access to. The other thing is that we do have a payment plan option. If you click on this bottom, you could do 3 payments of $14.35 a month. We understand that some folks are not able to pay in full. Of course, you won't get the pay in full bonus, but you will get all of the fast action bonuses if you want to sign up for the payment plan. So what you'll do is you'll go over, you'll put your email, your name in, and you'll also sign here. See, it has our love it or leave it option. You'll complete your purchase. Once you complete your purchase, you will get an email from us, which will include 4 steps. The first step is to join our amazing community. This is our paid community, the Speaking for Profit Circle. You'll get access to our classroom area, our calendar, be able to be engaged with all of our members. And then once you've joined, you'll also get your membership contract. You'll get a link to book a call with your accountability coach, and then you'll get an onboarding form that we expect for you to get done before your onboarding call so that your coach is as successful as possible. So just a reminder, by the end of the day on Monday, the price will go back up to $5,500, but for today, it is $4,000 to join us in Speaking for Profit Academy. We hope that you will be there. We know that many of you have messages that will change the world, and really look forward and excited to work with you. This framework, as we talked about before, has helped Christine Coleman go from $500 to $100,000 using this framework. My client Zami make over $500,000 and be able to travel the world from doing this strategy. Of course, Enzi booked his first $4,000 opportunity in 2 weeks. Kyle launched his podcast and his speaking business. Chris booked over 12 speaking engagements in 2023, and he just submitted an amazing proposal to Toyota for $30,000. Shouts out to Chris. Geronda's been able to book over $40,000 in contracts in the first quarter of 2024 and is still killing it. And it's all valued at $128,000. But for today, we're going to do it for $4,000 for folks who want to get started. And it will go back up to $5,500 at the end of day on Monday. So if you're interested, please go on and join us. We cannot wait to support you. I say we because I'm a team member and I have an amazing team who's going to be able to support and ground you in your success. So that is